And but I'll give credit. I mean, the opening match was an X Division. Actually, it was about LAX stuff. I guess he's not joining LAX. The rumor is it's probably going to be his brother joining LAX. So that'd be interesting, I guess.
Okay.
And opening match they did, I really enjoyed it. It was I think his name is Andrew. There's Andrew Everett versus ACH was a really good match. I believe ACH ended up winning the match. So and it was a good match too. And they had a tag match, LAX versus Del Rio and Lashley. And I didn't think it was that good of a show, honestly. I wasn't really into it. The Grand Championship is a terrible title, I think. I don't like that. I do like Moose. Don't get me wrong. Moose is great. I like him, but not a fan of the title.
Yeah, I think that title is probably the worst concept of a title I've ever heard of, where you have to defend the title like it's a boxing match, where you get judged after 3 minutes. I mean, that's stupid.
Yeah. It's kind of yeah. I agree, and the only other thing I can think of is the stuff I heard about Jeff Jarrett had a conference call, and he said that Del Rio is suspended indefinitely, but they didn't say they're stripping him of the title. And I listened to Bischoff.
He's not getting stripped of the title. That was not mentioned.
He should. I mean, they should. I mean, Bischoff said on his podcast this week that they should strip him of the title, and do it like that. Then he was shocked to find they even suspended him, knowing how TNA is.
We'll touch on that. I forgot.
Other TNA news that I've heard, apparently this lawsuit isn't over yet, even though Rebby says that Rebby Hardy says it is. It apparently isn't over.
She's saying one thing and Jeff Jarrett's saying the other. Saying basically, Rebby Sky said that there were back-end contract negotiations that, as of last week, that they were pretty much close to getting this deal done, but they had, there was stipulations behind it. Impact got so much money from it, so on and so forth. And then, Jeff Jarrett pops on a conference call and says that the Broken Hardy gimmick is still theirs and it's not going anywhere. So, of course, that pissed off Rebby Sky, and she went on a full-on rant on Twitter. And I respect the hell out of Rebby Sky, because Rebby Sky is a wife or any type of woman that you'd want by your side. Rebby Sky will go to war with Matt Hardy, and I respect her 100%. And what she's doing and saying, I don't blame her. I mean, she's trying to get I forgot what podcast it was, but Shane Helms was on it, like the guy that we used to be the writer on TNA, and he even said that Matt Hardy put his money into this gimmick, his whole Broken Hardy, all the stuff that you saw on Impact. He put his own money into it because TNA did not have the funds to do it. And yes, Jeremy Borash was a part of it. Yes, he had some say in it, but he didn't put no money into it like Matt Hardy did. Shane Helms did the same thing. Shane Helms said he would pick people up from the airport, not TNA. TNA didn't do that shit. So it's crazy how Jeff Jarrett suddenly wants to take over the Broken Hardy gimmick, and where he's absolutely going to do nothing with it other than hold it hostage from the Hardys. And that's basically what Jeff Jarrett is doing. So
now they did say Jeff Hardy said this on Jericho's podcast, and the very first one was basically funded by them. But the rest of them, TNA did give them money to help with this stuff. The first one was all Hardys. The rest of them, TNA did provide some money. So they did help out a little bit with that. So there is. But also another thing to talk about Impact, which surprised me. I thought it would do terrible. But for the second week in a row, TNA has went up in ratings. This week, the highest of the.
I'm not sure what. Maybe maybe this whole Patron stuff is maybe getting people to tune in. Maybe
W stuff too. People are starting to give it a chance again. Like, okay, that whole TNA's done. They're doing a different company name, GFW.
The hearts. Thank y'all guys.
I mean, the highest rated show, I think they said it was 374K was the most they've had all year, which is really, it's not something to be happy about, but for them, I guess it is, because it's huge numbers for them.
Yeah, so, I mean, good for them. I'm not really happy what they're doing with the Hardy gimmick and Hardy story, but good for Global Force Wrestling. Hopefully, it does better for them, and they really need to rethink about this whole Patron issue because they're getting a lot of heat over it. Seeing that he's still the champ, barring this whole
edit out. We're not going to edit that out him out off TV completely because you
right.
can't.
So they're in a tough spot regardless, even if they did suspend him, because it would look silly that Alberto's suspended.
He's indefinitely suspended. They said until the investigation is over.
Right. So I'm wondering how they're going to play that off. So like you said, next week on Impact, you're not sure what's going on. So if you want to interested in watching it, tune in next week for that. Also,
the main event ended with Del Rio and Lashley winning, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then LAX jumps Del Rio, and Lashley just stands there and watches. So he didn't go help. He didn't go help Del Rio. So they ended like that. Yeah.
You think the broken harmony gimmick thing is going to cause Matt to go back to version 1? I don't know. I'm not sure. The next month is taped. Yeah, so they're in a tough spot. So expect Patron to be your champ for a while.
One thing I'll ask really quick about this is, we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday or Wednesday night. Even the final deletion stuff, would it really work in the WE though? Because it worked so well because it was a low budget. It was really low budget. Would that really work with such a big budget in WE? I think what made it work was the low budget TNA version of it.
I mean, I don't care. I just want to see it. I just want to see it one time in the WWE. I think it deserves a run in the WWE.
I'm not saying the gimmick doesn't, but I'm just not sure if the final deletion stuff would work in the WWE.
They don't need to do final deletions. People don't want to see that. They want to see the gimmick. They don't want to see the match.
Yeah, well,
they want to see the match. They want to see the broken Hardy gimmick.
Yeah, that's fine. But I'm just saying if they went that same route, where they went with the kind of, the final deletion stuff they did in TNA, I thought worked so well because it was low budgeted. So I don't know if it would work so well because look what they did with the Wyatts and New Day. That just looked terrible. That was great.
I mean, that was just they had no mindset behind it. That's why they just did it to do it because.
And that was one of the first times you could actually say, okay, WE just ripped off DNA or the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much, yeah. I keep missing your question, Mr. Nice Guy. If it's about the Angle situation, we did touch on it Wednesday, like the architect said. You can go back and watch our replay, but we'll touch a little bit more on it at the end of the show because I'm going to ask Dave a question about it because that is coming up on our Tuesday night show. Also, a couple of things to run through. The Mae Young Classic happened Thursday and Friday. No, the whole tournament is not over. They did the first, I think, 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds.
4 episodes here at the end of August. So
excuse me. The last 2, the finalists are already set. Please do not spoil it. If you know it, please do not post it in here, please. Anyways, it's interesting to see how it's getting played out because we had the 4 horsewomen. Well, excuse me, 3 of the 4 horsewomen there: Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Bayley. And then we had the other 4 horsemen went there, as in Ronda Rousey and her pack of friends. I'm not sure who the women wrestler is that's in the tournament. I can't think of her name at the top of my head right now, at the moment.
But yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I don't know either.
But apparently, yesterday night, they had a little confrontation between the 2 groups where it looks like they're kind of calling each other out. I'm not sure how it came to about. Probably maybe the wrestler pushed maybe Bayley or one of them, or did the 4 horsemen thing in front of their face or something.
Was the girl who was wrestling walked over when they're all ringside. She held up 4 fingers at all. Becky, Charlotte, and Bayley held up 4 fingers at them, and the other girls, someone was accordioning it over there, and they're all standing up, kind of posing at each other.
Oh, okay. So yeah, maybe possibly like someone said it. I think it was the architect. Setting up a match for Ronda Rousey to get her feet wet, and this is the best way to do it. In a 4-way, I'm not a 4-way, but in a 8-women tag match, possibly at SummerSlam. It could be at SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's for SummerSlam.
I don't think they're gonna wait a whole year to do this match. I think if it's at SummerSlam, if it's not at SummerSlam, it's not happening. I just think they wouldn't tease it and then not do anything with it if it's not for SummerSlam. SummerSlam's seeming, and we've talked about this before. SummerSlam, there's no more big four pay-per-views. It's SummerSlam, WrestleMania, and the Royal Rumble.
And I don't know about that because they've been last year. They built up Survivor Series.
Yeah, but that was this, and we even I remember we touched on it that we said that they're starting to get to the point to where we can say there's a big four again, because the last two Survivor Series have been good. Doesn't the Mae Young Classic air after SummerSlam though? Yes, right, Dave.
Whenever it is, I'm not sure when the SummerSlam is exactly, but I know it's supposed to be on Raw. It's going to be uploaded.
I think after SummerSlam, they're revealing the bracket of who they're facing.
Yeah, and then the 28th, I think it's a Monday of August, that they're going to upload all the 4 episodes to the network on demand.
Yeah, so I'm not sure when. I'm not sure when the episodes will actually be on.
Yeah, I just said it. Yeah. But I mean, do you guys like that idea? I mean, do people in the chat, I would love to know, do they like the idea of having 4 episodes just go binge it, or would you rather have a weekly show, just watch it for 4 straight weeks? I mean, that's interesting.
Maybe see, the architect said what you said. So maybe set up a 4 versus 4 match for Survivor Series. But the Survivor Series a type of pay-per-view that you save Ronda Rousey for, or is it SummerSlam? To me, it's SummerSlam because they hype up SummerSlam so much, and it's also 4 hours. Survivor Series I think that was just a special one.
I would be surprised if they do it again though, because I think
they are going where they are going to. I think last year they did it too, where every big one with the big 4, quote unquote, were 4 hours long. Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, of course, WrestleMania, and SummerSlam. Rousey's part of the match. You save her one-on-one match for Mania. One woman qualified Wednesday on NXT. Really?
I've seen that. Yeah, they did some Bourne, I think her name was, or something like that. Chicks, you qualified for it, yeah.
Okay. I missed NXT. I haven't watched it yet, so I missed that. And I missed the Gargano stuff too. I should have watched it before we got on, but I did not. Ever since she got exposed, I'm not sure what she said. So my question for you, Dave, and for the chat room, and I think this is an obvious answer. Are you interested in a Ronda Rousey run in the WWE, or do you just want to see maybe in a one-and-done match?
I would love to see it. Like I've told you yesterday or whatever it was, I think that she could end up being like a female Brock Lesnar. Not so much Suplex City, but just so much the star power alone bringing to WWE Women's Division. It would be awesome, I think. Ronda, like, wrestling every few months, even if it was just part-time on big shows, I wouldn't care, you know? How many people you can put against? Don't even put her on one show. Have her wrestle wherever she wants, you know?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm wondering how
Brock Lesnar, you know, how cool would that be if you had Brock, not a champion, but just go to either show he wants, and like Cena's doing, kind of, and just have matches, show people on both shows. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Thank you for all the hearts. Thank you again. MMA fighters have no business. Oh God, in the WWE. Yeah, no. This year on TV. Thank you for all the hearts again. This is This Week in Wrestling. It's our weekend podcast where Dave and I just talk about this week in wrestling, all the wrestling companies. Kind of heavy in the WWE TNA since this week, since there's a little bit more news out of those 2 companies this week. We're also live this Tuesday night after SmackDown Live. This Tuesday night, after SmackDown Live, it's going to be pretty heavy with the Battleground talk. We will discuss Raw, of course, since Samoa Joe will face Reigns in the #1 contender match and then the whole Angle segment. So we will touch on that. But Tuesday night will be Battleground. And then next Sunday night also will be live with the Battleground review. So let's also move on. Cyborg was been in the wrestling news lately as well. Her and Becky Lynch have been kind of tweeting back and forth at each other, talking trash. Not sure what this is leading up to. But do you think maybe Cyborg is going to have a match, or do you think maybe this is possibly plan B? saying maybe if Rousey can't go or doesn't feel like she can, that Cyborg would be the one that they have at SummerSlam.
Yeah, this dude's an idiot. Okay, for real quick before I get into that, okay, and the V7, great from the UFC. Not saying Lesnar's the only good thing to come out of the UFC. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt Riddle, this dude is killing it. He's not AOC, but MMA. He's killing it out there right now.
Yeah,
but, I mean,
your comment about that is just silly. Texas kid, come on now.
Yeah,
MMA is just like not okay. I'm not gonna say it's just like wrestling, but they do moves that you can do in wrestling. So it's
a lot of it's amateur.
They know what they can do, and they know what they're doing, man. Anyways, go ahead, Dave.
Repeat the question. I'm sorry, I got thrown off.
Do you think Cyborg is Plan B, or do you think she's actually going to be in the match?
Well, they just started today. WE tweeted it out. Becky Lynch is ready to face Cyborg. Will it happen? Then Cyborg said Becky doesn't want none of me, to going so far as to like pinging it to her Twitter account that SummerSlam, book it, put me in, coach, at Triple H for SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, wow, I wouldn't mind seeing it, because for so long people have been saying they want to see Ronda Rousey versus Cyborg, and it just never happened. I don't believe it happened.
Who is she? She's a real beefy ass, China looking MMA fighter.
Promotion, MMA. She was never signed to UFC, so I don't think they ever did the match with her and Ronda. So just think you could get that match, and just think if they did that match in the WE, in a WE match, Ronda versus Cyborg.
Oh, that'd be interesting. I know people think that.
I mean, I think it would be interesting anyway, us fans like this. But yeah, I think Becky and her would make it's interesting because they've been going back and forth all day. So I don't know. It could be a plan B, or just something if they can't get Ronda signed for SummerSlam, then maybe do something like this, a special attraction.
Yeah, it's a possibility. I guess we will find out in the next couple of weeks, especially after the Mae Young Classic episodes run. Maybe they beef up the talk between Ronda. I guess we just got to be on the lookout. I think McGregor needs to come to WWE one day. Oh, I don't think that'll ever happen. Maybe
I don't want that at all.
Maybe the Mayweather and McGregor thing ends up on Raw someday. So we'll see about that.
I don't like Mayweather at all, but I actually hope he knocks Conor McGregor out. I don't like Conor McGregor at all completely, so I actually hope Mayweather wins.
He would be great on the mic. Oh, yeah. I'm sure he will, but he would not be able to be on live TV. He would cuss so damn much. I don't even think he could help it.
It's not short. Mayweather's short, though. He's good at this showmanship, too.
What's that? Oh,
Mayweather's good at showmanship. I think he's good. Not saying either equal or not. Maybe McGregor's probably a little bit better, but I think Mayweather knows what he's doing. He's good at that stuff, too, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely. They're both really good at talking trash. Gargano returned back on NXT Wednesday night. Of course, no Ciampa yet because he is out with an injury. He has a lot of heat with a few WWE superstars. Oh, definitely. Definitely. And then imagine if Conor was on Raw. Do you think we would probably see a segment where he's probably knocking out Enzo?
I hope not. I mean, I sort of hate about these guys coming in because they always have. I didn't like when Mayweather had to beat the Big Show, which I thought was stupid. But whatever. Right. I mean,
that has it all written all over it because Enzo was talking trash to Conor, and I could easily see them two in the ring, Mayweather and Conor in the ring, and then instead of Conor hitting Mayweather, he hits
Angle to go to him. I would love to see that.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. But I guess we got to see. There's rumors Triple H wants that to be on Raw someday.
He wanted to invite them to Raw if they wanted to come to talk.
Right.
Mayweather.
So we'll see what happens there. NXT Tag Title match. AOP
had a debut.
AOP retains. Also, Bobby Fish finally debuts on NXT Wednesday night.
And night, someone else debuted at a taping.
And what was that, Dave?
Kyle O'Reilly.
Yes, Kyle O'Reilly. They finally shows up at NXT as well. So I really hope those two finally team up against AOP. Maybe someday down the line. That would be very, very cool to see.
and they also had teased oh, this is a really funny thing. I think me and Tony were talking about this early Wednesday, and we were saying that I was saying NXT has no tag teams at all. There's no tag teams there, no tag teams at all to really face AOP. And then you mentioned to me, well, Sanity could always do something, and then boom, at the end of their title defense, boom, Sanity comes out. Basically, looks like they had papers falling from the ground. It looked like it was the book of Paul Ellering they were playing it up to be. So like they ripped his book up or something.
Well, they need something with Sanity. Sanity is too good of a group to not have titles or something going on. And
I will do like this. But yeah, next week I know they're also doing it's gonna be Killian Dane versus Drew McIntyre for the #1 contendership.
Oh, okay. I heard they might have a tag team tournament next year. Okay. I mean, if they do, that'd be pretty damn awesome. That'd be interesting to see if maybe the Young Bucks would be in it.
They're not going to be in the WWE next year. No, there's no way.
I mean, money talks, man. Money talks.
They're making some good money right now. I mean, they've even talked about
that, but it's more exposure.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to be watered down, though. I think they like what they're able to do.
No, but in these tournaments, they're not watered down.
Oh, you're talking about the tournament. I thought you meant just in WWE next year.
Not in the WWE. I'm talking about the tournament.
Oh, yeah,
the tournament, then I could totally see the Young Bucks being in the tournament, not signing with the WWE, no. But in the tournament to get more exposure, to get more people to see them, and get more merchandise sales, oh, definitely.
Okay, here's my question for you.
Who else is in it?
Yeah, really quick about NXT. Okay, who has had bigger and better matches on NXT since that you've seen? Drew McIntyre or Aleister Black?
Probably Aleister Black. I would say.
Yeah, that drives me crazy. Like, why is Drew McIntyre and Killian Dane the main event for the contender shot? Why shouldn't Aleister Black be in that consideration? He's been beating everybody and big stars too. Like, he's going out there taking on big. He just beat Chris Hero a few weeks ago. He just beat Bobby Faisal this past week. I mean, those are even. I love the reaction of Nigel McGuinness too. That was great. He's like, finally, he's here, and all that. It was just great. Yeah. Yeah,
he was very happy to see him here. That's great. So yeah, NXT is starting to heat up, getting these guys coming in.
And I don't know why people say NXT is dead right now, because I don't think they had this many big stars in NXT ever. But they have right now. I mean,
Triple H had to really turn up the heat here because he sees that his guys are leaving soon, and he had to get some replacements. I definitely see AOP moving up, and I definitely see Rude moving up soon. And it's going to be interesting to see how NXT looks in a year. I'm just going to block the trolls. The trolls are the idiot. Golly, man. What's the point of coming in here just to get blocked? That's so stupid. Right? It's just dumb. I mean, go troll something else. Jesus. All right, let's see. Okay, my last question for you, Dave, and for the audience tonight before back Tuesday night. Remember, Tuesday night we'll be live back at our regular scheduled time. No issues going on, no SmackDown Lives or anything going on here. So we'll be back at the same usual time Tuesday night. Battleground review. Those Loot Crate that y'all guys won will be sent out this week. I had to get some kind of special damn labeling for them, so it kind of set me back a little bit. But those will be going out this week, and then our new giveaway will be at SummerSlam for the other Loot Crate. What was that, Dave?
I was just saying preview for that thing.
Yeah, I'm saying review. I'm sorry, preview for Tuesday night. And okay, my question for you. I know you had the question about who you'd want to switch off and on SmackDown and Raw, past or present. But my question for you, if you could trade one guy from Raw to SmackDown and to SmackDown to Raw, no titles. Titles are not allowed. You can't switch any titles to Raw or to SmackDown. It could be anybody, managers, commentators, stuff like that.
A lot of managers in wrestling anyway.
Well, you know what I mean. But if you wanted to trade commentator for commentator or anything like that, you could do that. So if you could trade one guy from Raw to SmackDown and one guy to SmackDown to Raw, who would you do?
That's a tough one because SmackDown has a lot of guys on there I think that aren't being used either, and Raw has a lot of guys that really aren't being used.
All right, we got Nakamura to Raw, Big Cass to SmackDown. Okay.
I would take Finn Balor. No, I wouldn't. I got a better idea because even though that would be cool, I think I would take the Club and trade the Usos to Raw for the Club.
No tag titles. The champs.
Tag champs, that's right. The champs. Then who else is tag team there? I don't even know then. Okay, give me a Balor for Corbin then.
Balor. Okay, so you would want to see Corbin on Raw?
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be interesting.
All right, and who would you want to see Corbin face on Raw?
I think him and Big Cass would be interesting. I think Corbin and there's just I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people they could do. I mean, if I could take, I don't know, that's a tough one. Because if I could take Joe and put him on SmackDown as well, I'd love to see Joe and Styles, Joe and Nakamura again.
The club could really use SmackDown. Yep, the club could really use SmackDown. I agree with that.
I think the Revival. I think that's what I was going to say. The Club, to go to SmackDown, just because I think the Club could work on SmackDown because the Revival and the Club are the same damn team.
I think if you put the Club on SmackDown, they would probably be your number one heel tag team.
I agree.
It's tough to say that because the Usos are doing such a great job as heels, but I just think they still get those cheers. I think if you put the Club on SmackDown, I think they would be the number one heel tag team.
I mean, and AJ and the Club, I mean, man, they were so perfect. Those guys are so perfect together. They really were.
Yeah, Architect's right. I think going from SmackDown to Raw is almost a downgrade right now. Yeah, absolutely true. I agree with you. You get lost on Raw pretty much.
I mean, I could see that, but other people think Raw is better than SmackDown. And, I mean, I can see that because, I mean, I can see it, too, because this past week wasn't that great. And SmackDown is really saving their big stuff for their pay-per-views. And, you're not really getting a lot of great stuff, and a lot of teams are getting lost in the shuffle. Like, it's odd what they're doing with American Alpha. Because it's like you see Gable on TV the last couple of weeks, but you Jordan at all. So I wonder what's going on there.
How many careers have been revived by SmackDown this past year? Yeah. And speaking of SmackDown, Talking Smack, folks. Talking Smack is now no longer going to be on after SmackDown Live. A big blow to us wrestling fans because a lot of us really enjoyed Talking Smack. To me, it gave a lot of people platforms, and to me, it also gave guys like The Miz, a lot of credibility with wrestling fans of how he portrayed himself, how he do some outstanding promos on Talking Smack.
I mean, would he be there? Seriously, would The Miz be where he's at right now if it wasn't for that promo with him and Daniel Bryan? Would he be where he's at right now?
I don't know. The promo Miz cut on Daniel Bryan is classic and really got his career going again. Yeah.
It really got Talking Smack going. I thought that was like, oh, this show's never going anywhere. This is an awesome show. You got character development. Guys are getting chances. One of my favorite parts of this, because he was one of my favorite wrestlers, Daniel Bryan, gets a live mic, and it seems like his stuff is unscripted like crazy when he's on there talking. It don't seem like he's told to say or nothing, or anything to say. So that was always so cool to see Daniel Bryan interact with a lot of these guys he used to wrestle. If it wasn't in WWE, it was on the Indies. So it was really kind of cool to see those interactions with him and other guys. And now you're not going to get that kind of – it felt more like a shoot interview type of thing we got with guys. And that was so cool.
Yeah, the interaction was great. You had guys that really didn't get a lot of mic time in the ring, would get a lot of mic time in Talking Smack, like, Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder. The list goes on and on. People that –
because he first had his first debut really on Talking Smack. Because before he even got on TV at all, he got to go on Talking Smack and kind of tell us who he is.
Yeah, and he had great moments, like when Carmella attacked Nikki Bella. Yeah, Alexa Bliss benefited. Yeah, Alexa Bliss definitely benefited from it too as well. Good point.
Yeah, Corbin when he attacked Sami Zayn and then pushed the ref and they got suspended and all that. That was really cool.
Yeah, they had a lot of good, cool moments on Talking Smack, and they get rid of it for whatever odd reason. They're still gonna have Talking Smack after SmackDown pay-per-view, so it'll be back next Sunday night, but it's just not gonna be the same. I thought Renee Young did a fantastic job. They also canceled Unfiltered on the WWE Network, so that's a
Some
bummer.
people are they trying to get rid of Renee Young now? Everyone's wondering, are they getting rid of her?
Well, they're cutting a lot of costs. They recently cut
I don't
Fireworks.
think shows especially her show. I don't think they cost much. All you do you could run it from.
Money's money. I mean, Vince McMahon is becoming cheap right now. I mean, now the stages aren't going to be all the stages are going to look alike now. The only stages that are going to be different is, I guess, WrestleMania. They're cutting a lot of costs, and maybe maybe they are doing something to Renee Young. I don't know. I hope not. I heard they just re-signed her or something, or she was going to leave but she didn't. So I'm not sure what the deal is. But
they also took her off of Total Divas, I heard as well.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, they took her off of that too. So, I mean, so I don't know what's going on. I mean, and WE is so close to hitting that mark at 2 million subscribers. So you would think it's coming, and so maybe once they get that mark, maybe a little more stuff will change. Maybe they're going cheaper. Maybe some of these shows that they put out there didn't pan out and they cost a little bit more money than they thought. We don't know.
Maybe nobody.
WWE,
as much as we like Unfiltered, maybe nobody else is watching it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that the same for Talking Smack because that was ranked in some of the top 10 shows.
Yeah,
that was ranked one of the top most viewed shows. So it's not because of that.
Yeah, definitely weird on that part. She's off Divas. They added Nia Jax instead.
I also heard they added Alexa Bliss to it as well.
Yeah, Alexa Bliss is on it too now. I don't know. I hope we don't see her gone anytime soon because I really enjoy Renee Young. But I think that may wrap it up for tonight for this week's In Wrestling podcast. We appreciate all 72 viewers in here tonight. Remember, everybody, Tuesday night we'll be live again for the preview of Battleground. Also, the Raw and SmackDown review that we also talk about as well. Joe and Reigns. The Angle segment, we'll find out if he's fucking having an affair with Dixie Carter, or is Chad Gable his long lost son, or what the hell happens, or maybe we see Triple H and Stephanie McMahon on Raw.
Kathy Kelly, she did this little YouTube or Twitter video where they said, we're pretty sure that Chad Gable isn't Kurt Angle's son. They even mentioned that, so...
WWE said not Gable Angle. Okay, all right. The architect just mentioned it.
But they said probably not Gable's son. They didn't say exactly, but probably not. So I mean,
all right. Here's my question, and before we hit to Tuesday night's podcast, if they do a sort of love angle with Kurt Angle and Dixie Carter, yes, are you going to be upset? Yes or no? Are you going to actually give it a shot and maybe be intrigued by it? What do you think, Dave?
I mean, sure. I think everyone would be intrigued by it, but I think it's stupid. Because who cares about it? Seriously, does anyone know who Dixie Carter is? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, people are saying yes. Okay.
Most of the WE universe who doesn't watch TNA, who doesn't even know what TNA is, do they even know who Dixie Carter is to even care about it? To me, it has to be. People aren't going to like it, but it has to be Stephanie. Something to do with Stephanie, because everyone knows who Stephanie is. Why would you do an angle with?
Would you be shocked? I think I'd be more shocked if it's Stephanie than if it is Dixie Carter. To be honest with you,
I wouldn't be, because Dixie Carter is just pointless because no one knows who she is. Besides, if you're a wrestling fan, you watch TNA over the years, and yeah, you know who she is.
I never watched TNA. No idea who Dixie Carter is. Oof.
Exactly. No one knows who she is.
I just think I'd be shocked if it's Stephanie McMahon if they went that
route. Carter. I'd be shocked if it was.
Because I mean, the only way I could see that happening is if they're absolutely setting up a match between Angle and Triple H, and that would get Triple H absolutely pissed.
How would no sense to me right here. How would Angle and Dixie Carter relationship get him fired from WE?
True. I mean, that's true.
It could cost me my job. So if he's kind of fooling around with Stephanie, how would that not cost him his job? You know.
I love the old Angle loving Stephanie bit. Yeah, that was good. I think it's supposed to set up Triple H versus Kurt Angle at SummerSlam. Okay, and it would make sense if it's Stephanie McMahon comes out and if it's Stephanie McMahon, and then next week Triple H shows up on Raw and he's that fucking assassin with the fucking sledgehammer looking for Kurt Angle. I mean, I could see that. That'd be awesome, interesting.
Yeah, and why would he say "I love you"? If it was Stephanie, he did say "I love you." So if it's something else completely, I wouldn't mind that at all. If it's just something completely different than we're all thinking, which would be really cool. I don't know what else it could be, you know?
Yeah, it has to be some kind of love triangle. Whatever it is, I feel it's going to be a disappointment after all this buildup. Yeah. Let's hope not. I mean, Raw has been doing really good these last couple of weeks with the hypeness and how they've been doing with Samoa Joe and Brock and some of the other things they've been doing on Raw as well. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I didn't even think about it. I thought this text crap was about the Enzo and Cass thing at first. I was like, okay, is this about Enzo and Cass?
Yeah.
I thought it was the same thing.
I think we haven't mentioned that we thought it would be when they
thought it was about Enzo and Cass. That was it. I was like, why would Enzo and Cass have something to do with Stephanie? Like, no, this is a separate. Oh, I just assumed that's what it was. And how's Corey Graves involved? So if it is something to do with Stephanie, how would Corey Graves be getting these text messages about Stephanie unless he's getting footage from somebody spotting Kurt Angle and Stephanie together?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all develops.
I think everything will work out fine.
WWE definitely has your thinking cap on, thinking what's going to go on. Yeah. It's definitely going to be intriguing to find out what happens on Monday Night Raw. So
we'll find out something else. You know it's going to be a big angle too, because after Raw goes off the air, there was a WE Network interview with Kurt Angle after Raw.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So
I know it's going to be something big that happens.
Yeah, definitely check on Raw. What if it was his old wife, Karen? That's not going to happen.
That's impossible because she's on TNA. Or Global.
Yeah, they don't like each other one bit, so that's not going to happen.
No.
So,
do you think are they doing a similar storyline to what basically caused his divorce as a TV storyline on TNA? Because it's very similar to that, like where Jeff Jarrett was seen messing with Kurt's wife. You know, that whole thing that really got Jeff fired from TNA.
It should be Steph winning her position back. Kurt gets pissy, and she brings in Triple H. Yeah, that would be the logical situation, but I guess they're trying to spice it up a little bit and maybe have Stephanie be.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. You know, that would make those. But if it is Dixie Carter, I mean, I guess that could be somewhat interesting. Maybe they had some kind of affair they're going to play off of the TV storyline. How best that would be kind of messed up though. TNA basically just fires her, and then she ends up in WE in a storyline. That would really be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll find out Monday night. Tuesday night, we'll be live at the regular scheduled time, as always, 10:30 Eastern, maybe a little bit before then. So just follow our channel. Appreciate all the hearts tonight. We want to hit 300,000 hearts by SummerSlam. Can we do it, folks? I think we can. 300,000 hearts by SummerSlam is not hard to do. Y'all got us to 200,000 hearts and like that. I mean, y'all are awesome. I think that's all we're going to be touching on tonight. Remember, join us Tuesday night. We'll be back next Saturday night. I think next Saturday night probably will be a really, really quick podcast since we'll be live Sunday night. Maybe just touch on it if any breaking news. Maybe Saturday night next week, maybe be an iffy podcast since we're live Sunday night. Maybe if there's nothing really to talk about Saturday night, we'll maybe not just do a podcast and save it for Sunday night. We'll see. We'll see what all happens then. Yeah. Anything else, Dave, you want to touch on before we head out?
No, I mean, that should be it.
Who's attacking Breezango? Where I think we're hoping it's American Alpha.
Yeah, just
but we'll see then. We'll see. Architect, thank you for joining us as always. Texas Kid for life. Let me give some shout outs before we leave. I know I saw Pino in here before as well. Who else? Truth and Loyalty, James Joseph, Sean, Texas Kid as always. Sid, James Curry, thank you. James Curry, I'm sorry. Thank you all guys for coming in here. Architect, thank you for those hearts, man. All the follows, the retweets on Twitter, the shares on Periscope, and the follows are very, very, very much appreciated. Please follow our channel. Yeah, just please follow our channel. Please do whatever you can.
Yes.
We appreciate everything y'all do for us. And remember, giveaway SummerSlam night. Probably going to be doing some call-ins that night as well. Get y'all guys some call-ins on that night as well. That's it. That's going to wrap it up tonight. Thank you, replay viewers, as well. And we will see you guys Tuesday night. Thanks, everybody.